In the late 12th century, Saladin's armies swept across the Holy Land. Cities surrendered, fortresses fell. But here, above the Jordan Valley, one castle stood unbroken. Belvoir, known for the beauty of the landscape. Its walls were thick, its towers defiant, its knights unyielding. For months, the Sultan's army laid siege. Stones crashed, arrows rained, yet the fortress endured. At last, with no hope, the defenders surrendered. The star of the wind has fallen.
High above the Jordan Valley, where the Tiber stream winds its way toward the river Jordan, lies a forgotten stronghold, the Crusader fortress of Belvoir, also known as the Star of the Winds. Perched on the ridge of Mount Siren, this medieval citadel commands sweeping views over the Galilee, the Golan Heights, and the Jordan Valley below. From here, one can sense both the strategic brilliance of its location and the timeless beauty of the surrounding land. The fortress was built in the 12th century by the Crusaders, who sought to secure the vital routes that connected the Galilee to the Jordan Valley and onward to the holy city of Jerusalem. Its massive walls, towers, and gates were designed not only for defense, but also as a statement of power and faith. The site was part of a network of fortresses, each linked by sightlines, enabling swift communication across vast distances. But the story of the fortress stretches far beyond its Crusader past. This ridge was inhabited long before the Crusaders arrived. Ancient peoples farmed these slopes, guarded trade routes, and built villages that overlooked the fertile valley. The fortress itself would later be rebuilt and reused by Muslim rulers, each leaving their own imprint on its stones. Geographically, the setting is dramatic. The Siren Ridge rises sharply from the Tiber stream, creating natural defenses on three sides. Seasonal winds sweep across the high plateau, lending the fortress its poetic name, Star of the Winds. Wildflowers surround the ruins, while in summer the golden fields stretch endlessly toward the horizon. To the west lies Mount Tabor, biblical in memory, while to the east the Golan Heights emerge like a fortress of their own. The Crusaders, however, did not hold this stronghold forever. In the late 12th century, following the Battle of Hattin and the Muslim reconquest under Saladin, the fortress fell. Its walls were damaged, its towers broken, but its memory lived on. Centuries later, Ottoman travelers still recorded the ruins, recognizing their silent testimony to a vanished era of knights and battles. Today, as we walk among the scattered stones, imagination fills the gaps left by time. One can almost hear the clang of armor, the call of the muezzin from distant villages, the rustle of banners in the wind. The fortress is more than just an archaeological site. It is a meeting point of histories, Crusader and Muslim, ancient Israelite and modern Israeli. Standing here, gazing over the Jordan Valley at sunset, one feels how geography and history intertwine. The fortress of Belvoir reminds us that this land has always been a crossroads of armies, of cultures, of faiths, and though its walls lie in ruins, its story continues to inspire all who climb the ridge to look upon the valley below. Belvoir was no ordinary fortress. It was a masterpiece of Crusader military engineering. It was the embodiment of Crusader strength, built with purpose, precision, and vision. Perched on a high basalt ridge, nearly 400 meters above the Jordan Valley, it controlled the roads that linked the valley to Galilee, and further west to the heart of the kingdom. From its towers, riders and merchants could be seen days in advance. The design was revolutionary for its time, a perfect square fortress. Within a larger square fortress, two concentric defenses, one protecting the other. Even if the outer wall was breached, attackers faced a second, stronger line. The outer wall was reinforced by 4 massive corner towers. Inside, the inner castle rose with its own towers, chambers, storerooms, and halls. A dry moat, hewn deep into the basalt rock, isolated the entire structure, forcing attackers into a killing ground. Within these walls, knights lived and trained. They stored weapons, food, and water, enough to survive long months of siege. The chapel at the heart of the fortress reminded them that their fight was not only for land, but for faith. The black basalt stone, local and unyielding, gave the fortress its dark, commanding presence. Against the golden hills and the blue valley below, Belvoir shone like a star, fierce, enduring, unshakable. It was this strength that made it the last fortress to surrender to Saladin's army, a symbol of defiance, and even in ruin, a monument to the genius of its builders and the resilience of its defenders. Once the last great stronghold of the Crusaders, Belvoir, the Star of the Winds, now lies in silence, its walls broken, but its story alive. No longer a fortress of war, it has become a place of memory and discovery, an open-air monument watched over by endless skies. Around it, the Jordan Valley thrives anew. Fields of agriculture stretch to the horizon, and reservoirs turn the power of water into light. Here, where empires rose and fell, life continues, rooted in the land, reaching toward the future.